And we're back. Am I the asshole? Back to live streaming. Am I the asshole? Right? We're gonna run this back. My bad, guys. Okay. Ever since my dad was a kid, our family has done monthly dinners, nicer ones than the average family dinner. Again, you don't know what my family does. It's something our family did when my siblings and I were kids too. We'd have grandparents over and we'd all have a nice dinner together. When my siblings and I grew up, we still did it, only instead of what happened before, where branches broken off every time over time and did their own. They decided we should include partners slash spouses and our kids as a whole in one. By the time I was 19, the family had decided they would take turns hosting each month to lessen the burden. My wife was excited to be a part of them at first. We started during our relationship. I did the cooking to start, and then she took over after a while because she wanted to. My family had seemingly got along with my wife before this point, but they were overly harsh of her cooking, with the exception of my two younger siblings. She tried to make them happy, but no dice. I told them they could be kinder. They said she could cook better. That's still funny to me. I don't care. Uh, or cook something different. My wife didn't make anything they don't eat, but nothing was right. She grew frustrated and I grew suspicious. So we hosted a couple of months ago, and I told my wife we're going to pretend I did the cooking just to see. She told me she felt like they weren't fond of her food. I pointed out nobody had the same amount of complaints as them, and they even criticized the steak and potatoes they all seemed to go crazy for. She went along with the plan, and when my family thought I'd cooked it, they loved it. Said it was good, and my wife had decided to let a real talent take over. That it was nice to have something a little different. It was curry, and all this very lovely stuff. My younger brother and sister weren't fooled, but they enjoyed watching the rest of my family dig a hole. When the rest of my family heard it was my wife's food and not mine, they tried to backtrack and say all and take back all the nice, kind stuff they had said. The rest of the dinner went into tense silence, and my wife's eyes were opened. I told her I was done with these dinners and she was my priority. Good job. That's mean. She felt a little bad. I told her we could have dinner. We could have dinners with my younger brother and sister sometimes. It's less stress anyway. When we didn't show up to last month's dinner or this one's, my parents and siblings started asking questions. I told them each time we weren't going again, but missing two made it sink in. Oh, you had told them you wasn't coming, but they wasn't listening. They told me we needed to be there. I said never again. My wife doesn't deserve their disrespect. I told them they ruined what they wanted by being assholes to her. They said I was overreacting, making very relationship harming choices and treating them badly for simply having issues with my wife's food. They also said to think of the future kids and how they'll miss out. Some of it got to my wife a little, which I have tried to reassure her about. No, you're not the asshole. Your family's the asshole for being mean to her. It'd be different if she couldn't cook, but it doesn't sound like that's the case. It sounds like they just don't like your wife. So you were right. And kudos for you for sticking up for your spouse. That's good. That's nice. What we got next? Am I the asshole for telling my mom that I never trust her with her future relationships? What does that even mean? Am I the asshole? Let me read it again, make sure I understand the title. Am I the asshole for telling my mom that I will never trust her with future relationships? I, 26 male, told my mom, 67 female, about a year ago that I could not trust her when it came to any future relationships. My mom and I had been talking about a trip where I had met a woman. My mom then asked if there were any plans for her to visit so she could meet her. I decided to be upfront and told her I wasn't sure if I would introduce anyone to her. When she asked why, I told her that due to how she had treated my last partner, I did not feel I could trust her with any future partners. She went to her room in tears. Oh, you made your mommy cry. I've gone on many dates since then and never mentioned any of them to my mom. She thinks I haven't dated anyone for the last 4 years. Now, if your mama think you ain't dated in 4 years, I don't know what to say about that. That's crazy. Um, there's no way she doesn't think you're dating, whatever. Okay. In reality, she is simply the one I don't tell. I do tell my dad and sisters, asking that they don't share it with mom. Now, for some context, my mom's behavior in that long-term relationship. I dated Amy, fake name of course, for 6.5 years. My mom was great in the first year, showing interest in Amy and trying to bond with her. After the first year, Amy was kicked out of her family's house, and my dad let her move into my room without charging us anything. Mom and dad lived separately. Amy lived in my room for about 8 months until she moved out. The whole time, my mom complained about everything Amy did or did not do. That's hard to be moving your significant other who you ain't married to into your mama house. That's bold anyway. But let's keep going. At first, she only complained to me, but then moved on to complaining to Amy herself. The complaining became such an issue that Amy and I decided she was better off getting her own place, where I soon joined after. Well, why y'all didn't do that to begin with? After moving out, my mom found other things to complain about. She blamed Amy for us moving out and also being the reason we were barely able to afford renting a place. Oh my God. She started making comments about how Amy was gaining weight. Yo, mama's crazy. How Amy was gaining weight to our faces. We both were due only affording cheap food. Called her a druggie to me when she overheard my sister and Amy talking about weed, and a faker when she got injured in an accident and couldn't work. Eventually, eventually it escalated to the point where, due to my mom's disrespect, I told her to stay away from Amy and I. Here's the worst incident. Amy joined me to help dad unload some furniture. First of all, Amy, you a real one, because I am gonna be there to cheerlead and bring y'all water. I'm not unloading furniture. We were surprised to find my mom was also there. Oh, maybe that's nice. At one point, I left. I left Amy with my mom for about 30 seconds to help my dad. When I came back, my mom had an oddly large grin on her face while Amy was silent. After we left, Amy burst into tears. Oh, she told me she couldn't tell me what my mom had said to her, as she didn't want to ruin the relationship between my mom and I. Half a decade later, I still do not know what she said. Amy was not perfect, but my mom had crossed the line multiple times. We tried talking to my mom about respecting Amy and even went no contact with her due to her behavior. Problem is that my mom is in the early stages of dementia. Oh, maybe your mama being crazy. I'm sorry, dementia does not mean you are crazy. Dementia is like, it's legitimately an attack on the brain. So, but it could have been the reason your mom was acting crazy for a long time. She retains most of her memory, but many of the situations I've mentioned she claims didn't happen. This makes holding her accountable a problem. Am I the asshole? You can't be mad at your mama when she has dementia. Dementia typically comes with Alzheimer's. I'm not a doctor, so I could be wrong about that. I just know what happened to the couple people in my family that had it. Dementia followed with Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's takes you out. So make amends with your mom. She was a jerk, but she could have been being a jerk because something was going on in her brain that she could not control. Amy should have stood up for herself. You did stand up for Amy. The whole no contact thing, I get, but I don't know if I don't think I could go no contact with anybody in my family. Like maybe low contact, but no contact's hard. Some people maybe deserve it though. So, it is what it is. Next one. Am I the asshole? I told my fiance I would not take care of an English bulldog if we got one. Well, why don't you want to take care of a puppy? I know they snore, and you gotta do a whole lot with an English bulldog, but they so precious. They so precious. My fiance my fiance has been around bulldogs since what? People cannot write, and I cannot read. Okay. My fiance has always been around bulldogs. They were her childhood pets, and naturally, he absolutely loves them. Okay, your fiance is the boy. I don't know why I assumed the girl wanted the dog and not the woman, if it is a woman in the story. Whatever. Some of his close family members are part of the National Kennel Club. Show them show them in dog shows and breed them. All registered with, listen, I promise you I can read. I really promise you I can read. All registered with proper health testing, etc. And whenever I see the word etc., I think of the movie, what is it, Switch? I think it's Switch. Whatever. I'm sorry. Let's go back. And very much not backyard breeders. In the event we would own a bulldog, we would likely receive a top of the line bred dog with a championship winning bloodline. I am not a huge dog person to begin with, but I especially am not a fan of this breed. I don't like them for a variety of reasons, which I will list below. But my main protest is that due to our work situation, I will be responsible for 90% of its care. Now that is a lot. A dog is a whole child, and nobody wants to watch your dog. People will watch your kid, but nobody's watching your dog, at least not willingly. Like they just don't want to do it. And to board a dog is $25. They don't treat like typically it's about $25 a day. They don't treat them right. They lock them in like a cage and feed them and possibly walk them. Don't know. Um, I had a dog and putting her up was very difficult. I didn't like to do it. I would prefer if my mom would watch her, but if she couldn't watch her, she had to go somewhere. But anyways, um, I am 100% prepared to take care of and love a family pet. However, I made it clear that I do not want a bulldog, and I am not willing to provide the extensive level of daily care they require. Bulldogs are a lot of work. To provide background as to why I don't like slash don't want a bulldog, one, I don't think they are an ethical dog breed. What? I don't support their breeding. I don't want to contribute to that market, nor do I want to own such a controversial breed. A bulldog or like a bully breed? Are we talking like a pit bull? Or I mean, I get it. There is some controversy around English bulldogs, but I didn't know it was that deep. But okay. Number two, the extensive health issues and potential for super high vet bills. He argues that their breathing is perfectly healthy. How their breathing is not healthy if we're talking about an English bulldog. However, I strongly disagree. We also plan to move to a hot climate. Oh, this not for that. This ain't for that dog. Within 5 to 10 years, which is really compatible with the bulldog due to their high, which isn't really, I was about to say, which isn't really compatible with a bulldog due to their heat sensitivity. Yeah, you can't put an English bulldog in that environment. Number three, high maintenance, daily cleaning of their skin folds. When we talk about an English bulldog, ears and tails will be my responsibility. And honestly, I'm just not, I don't know why my desk is shaking. I'm just not down for that. They're not an active dog. I want a dog. Oh, four. They're not an active dog. I want a dog I can take hiking or on adventures. Yeah, you ain't taking that dog, bulldog hiking. You can take it in the front yard. Not a dog that can't handle a 45-minute walk. Number five, I'm not a fan of their personalities. Now they got brilliant personalities. Don't do that. Number six, their hair is so coarse it makes me itch all over. It irritates my nose and eyes and sticks to absolutely everything. That is a fact. That is a fact. The snoring and snarling noises. I'm a light sleeper. Well, they just put their room somewhere else. I do think a dog should have a room. The reason I'm posting this is because my fiance and I frequently disagree on this topic. Today, I told him that with him working away long hours while I'm at home all the time, it wouldn't be fair to me or the bulldog for us to own one because I'm not willing to provide such extensive daily care. I understand and respect that he loves his breed, but I genuinely don't want the burden and responsibility shoved onto me just so that he can own the breed he had as a kid. I feel like I could be the asshole since I'm pretty much telling him I wouldn't take care of an innocent animal, and that's obviously not right. However, I also feel like I might not be the asshole because this right now is all hypothetical since we don't own one. And well, right now, you are not the asshole. He's the asshole if he goes and gets one. If you're telling this man that you do not want to take care of this dog, and he is insisting on getting this dog, he has to take care of it. Like if you're telling this man you don't want this dog, you're not the asshole. You would be the asshole if you let him get the dog and then you didn't want to take care of it. My opinion, but what else? Teach their own. Um, TLDR. I don't know what that means because I'm new to this, right? Excuse my background as well. My fiance wants a bulldog because he's always had them, and I don't want one because I'd solely be responsible for it. Yeah, you're not the asshole here. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for not helping a stranger's child in the restroom? I'm going to say no initially, because you don't. Yeah, stuff can go wrong, words can be said, but we're going to see what the issue was. I had posted in parenting, but they said it didn't belong there. Okay, whatever. So now he's there and not the asshole, right? We're on a Reddit thread. My son and I, 37 female, went to my nephew's birthday party at a skating rink today. Aside from my nephew, there were two other parties going on. I went to the restroom and there was a little girl of about 7 who had an accident and wet herself. Oh no! She belonged to one of the other parties. We both got to the door about the same time. Her dad said that he didn't have her a change of clothes and told me to clean her up and watch her while he went to the nearby Walmart and bought new clothes and just walked away before I could answer. I had never met these people in my life. That is irresponsible parenting on his part, not yours. The little girl was so shy she wouldn't even tell me her name and she just walked into the stall. That is embarrassing, Daddy. Daddy, what? Daddy, don't do, listen, daddies, don't do that. Don't send your little girls in the bathroom with women you do not know. Women abuse children as well. I know this is a sensitive topic for the YouTube, but I'm going to say it. Do not send your kid anywhere with anyone that you don't know, male or female, whether your child is male or female. It does not matter. People are weirdos. I'm just saying, okay? I could tell she was embarrassed. I told her to wait there and I'd go find some adults from the party that she knew and that I'd be back. I found the other adults that knew her and explained that she'd had an accident and they needed to go tend to her. I wasn't comfortable cleaning up a child I'd never met, as you should not, who was clearly shy and embarrassed, as her daddy should not have left her. Her daddy should have just took her home and let her shower and changed her clothes and brought her back. I'm sorry. The adults went to help, but acted like I was unreasonable for asking them. But I don't think I was. You are absolutely not the asshole in this situation. These other parents are weirdos, and that is my opinion, and I am sticking to it. That's crazy. Crazy work. Am I the asshole for telling my sister I won't let her see our dying mother? You're probably the asshole. But let's find out. I was born to a single mother who had my older sister, 32 female, who is actually my half sister, from another man that she left when my sister was about 3 years old. Okay, so your mom was a single mom and had your older sister who was 32 years old, and she's your half sister from another man that she left when my sister was about 3 years old. Okay. At Christmas dinner, our entire family gathered, so we caught up. I have a really difficult but well-paying job, one that exhausts me, but having a single mother who with no stable income of any kind, reliable job, etc. in the past, I've had to skip meals quite often, and I absolutely fear going back to that. So I've made clear that my goal is to keep the income I have right now at any cost. My sister was quick to comment that since I was have a well-paying job and possibility of a raise in the future, then I have to be the one who will entirely financially cover our mother's medical bills and needs towards the end of her life. It didn't sound like a joke. Oh, she probably wasn't joking. My mom is chronically ill and always has been. She has arthritis, psoriasis, and an immunosuppressant, and is on immunosuppressants. Listen, that's hard. She has had cancer as well, and she's overweight and recently having to go through surgery because her stomach is in a terrible state. I supported her as much as I could, but these ridiculous amounts rack up quickly. I can imagine. I had to borrow money and it was hell to pay off. My sister never ever helped. I answered, "You've never done shit for me. You've never done shit for her before, and you still won't do shit for her when she needs you the most. I'm tired of you acting like I or she owes you anything when you could never do anything yourself." She got extremely upset at first, telling me I was overreacting and that it was just logic. that I be the one paying for her mom. Why is that logic? Y'all both, it's y'all both of y'all mamas, right? But what? Okay, okay, I digress. But it isn't the first time she's putting our mother's care in my hands and using us for money while she spends what little she has on restaurants and unnecessities. She then went off the rails and started accusing my mother of never doing anything for her either, being a selfish woman, and many more things that upset everyone at the table. I outright told her to shut up and to get out of my house, and added that considering I will be taking care of our mother, I won't be letting her see her again, even when the time comes that she's on her deathbed. She told me to go fuck myself. I'm sorry, not funny. Not funny. That I was being unreasonable. We haven't spoken since, but my grandma says she's still pissed at me and regularly, I can't say that word for some reason, regularly talk shit about me. Am I the asshole? Y'all both are assholes. So this would be your big sister. Your big sister ain't shit. And she knows that you pay for everything. Not saying it's right, but maybe y'all go low contact after mama's gone. I don't know. Y'all both assholes in this point in this situation, because I don't think you should tell somebody they can't see their mama if they on their deathbed, regardless of what they did or did not pay for. My opinion. But opinions are like what? And we all have them. I'm going to end the stream right now. I want to figure out how I want to do what I actually want to do, but we're going to just, go ahead and post this and do what I do with it. It is what it is. Thank you. Hercule and Durkle, guys.